Hi, it's MP Kami, caring for the whole you, mind, body, and soul. Welcome back to my channel. What am I going to talk about today? Now, if you know me, or probably you don't, but I have lived and worked in 3 different countries as a registered nurse, and of course in the United States as a nurse practitioner. But I want to share my experience with you, the similarities and the differences. And I've made a little note, so you might see my little book, me making reference, but that's okay. So let's go into similarities. Of course, healthcare conditions, whatever they are, doesn't matter what country you go to, they are the same. Because guess what? We are taking care of humans and the human body, despite your ethnicity or race or education, doesn't matter, all those stuff, it remains the same. So of course the disease conditions are the same. Another thing is the medication rights. Yes, it doesn't matter where you work, in whatever country, the rights remain the same. The right drug, the right dose, the right frequency, the right route, the right to refuse. Did I miss one? I don't think so. Another thing that is synonymous to nursing wherever you go are care plans. The dreaded care plans. Nurses or nursing student, you can relate to that? Yes. Doesn't matter where you are, I've had to deal with care plans. The hierarchy in nursing. Doesn't matter where I go, in all 3 countries, there's always a charge nurse, there's always a unit supervisor, nurse manager, director, and a chief nursing officer. Of course, in Jamaica, we refer to them as matron of the hospital. Here we call them chief nursing officer, the director of nursing, depending on where you are. But yes, another similarity is the busyness or the ethical and legal obligations of the nurse to care for the patient. Doesn't matter where you are accountable, you are responsible, and you are busy. Yes, as you know, we have so many different roles in nursing, and even in your given day as a registered nurse, you are expected to be all these things to your patients. So, what are the differences? I'm going to break them down: Jamaica, Canada, and the USA. First one that I'll talk about is the nurse to patient ratio. When I was in Jamaica, I had the privilege of working in both the public sector and the private sector. The public sector, the nurse to patient ratio could be anywhere from 1 to 16 to 1 to even 20. That's if a nurse calls up and you probably have to take the whole floor maybe. But yes, also in the private sector in Jamaica, it was pretty, standard here. I had 1 to 4, maximum 6 patients as a nurse. In Canada, the ratio for me there, and I'm talking on my experience, was 1 to 5, 1 to 6. And then in the USA, my experience is 1 to 4 and 1 to 6. So of course, Canada and USA are comparable. Jamaica, if you work in the private sector. Another thing was lunch breaks. Now, in Jamaica, you're always assigned your lunch break, but it's still a hit and miss depending on what's going on. You might miss your lunch break, okay? In Canada, your lunch break was assigned and it was mandated. You better get off that floor and go eat. Somebody's covering your patient, you hand over to your team member, and you go get your lunch break. Ain't no missing of lunch break there. And in the USA, you're not assigned, okay? It's in the policy that you should get your 30 minutes break in your 12-hour shift, but let's be honest, chances are you get 10 or 5 minutes to gobble down some food and run back out there. Of course, if you're in the state of California, you're good because it's mandated that you get your lunch, and they even have a person taking over for you fully while you're on your lunch break. You don't even get to bring your phone. Another thing was the pay range. I'm talking about for myself now. Things have probably gotten a little better there, but when I was living in Jamaica, the average pay, if I should compare it to US dollars, would be like 500 to 800 US dollars per month. Okay, not per week, not 2 weekly, per month. In Canada, the rate of pay was like between 36 to 46 Canadian dollars per hour. And the Canadian dollar is probably just $1 less than the US dollar for comparison. And in the USA, like the state where I was at, the range was like from 29 to 42 US dollars for a registered nurse per hour. All right. Another difference that I noticed was the uniform. In Jamaica, I still had to wear full white uniform, my little white hat, full white, even white shoes. Like, you better know how to care for your whites. In Canada, you can wear any color you want. Multicolor, bright color, pale color, doesn't matter. You're in a uniform, you have your ID badge, girl, you're ready for work. Or, sorry, let me not be sexist here because there's male nurses, of course, but you could wear any color. And in the USA, a lot of the disciplines are color-coded in terms of their uniforms. Generally, RNs in the USA wear navy blue, but some hospitals that you go, they might have a different color for their registered nurses. Like, I worked at one hospital as a travel nurse, and my uniform was pink. Yes. Another thing in difference that I've noticed is in patients' behavior. In Jamaica, RNs are very, very respected, and the patients were very appreciative of the care that you provide for them. And when I compare it to Canada, patients, RNs are also respected, but it's just another job. If you choose to be a nurse, you choose to be a nurse. It's not a big deal. And the patients were very appreciative, of course, of the care. I noticed too that there were very few incidents of suing. That was not a thing. It's not common for the healthcare systems to be sued frequently there where I was. In the USA, RNs is seen as a part of the team. And the pandemic proved that although we were an integral part of the team, it really brought out that we weren't as appreciated as we should have been. But let's talk about patients' behavior. In my experience, patients in the USA, you do find the few that are appreciative of the care, but others see it as entitlement, okay? And they sometimes will be rude to you, like, I'm paying you to do your job and you're gonna do that for me because you're being paid to do this. That's a lot of them attitude. Not everybody, so this is not a blanket statement. This is just what I've observed, okay? Another thing or difference that I noticed, in Jamaica, all the nurses are addressed by their last name. So I was known as Burrell because when I started nursing, I was not married yet. So my surname stuck with me, Burrell. And then I migrated to Canada and everybody's like on a first name basis, Camellia. And it's the same for the USA as well. I never ever know my coworker's last name unless I'm in charge and I have to, check off their name to make sure that they're there and I might glimpse at their last name. But everyone is on a first name basis. Another thing was the charging. It was so different because in Jamaica, with the ratio being so wide, you really had to charge just what was most important because you had a lot to do and a lot of patients as well to take care of. So you would probably write, receive in bed, awake and alert, no distress noted, medication given as ordered, done. That's it. While in Canada, it's you charge by exception, okay? And nothing has changed, but move on. You just stated, nothing has changed. That's it. And in the USA, you better charge everything like your life depends on it because you just never know when your records will be called up in the court of law, and that's when you have to defend you. So those are some of the similarities and differences. I might have to do a part 2 maybe, but thanks for sticking around, and I hope to see you again on the next video. Enjoy your day.